When we split, there was never any doubt that my daughter would stay with me.
We had to agree when I could have time with my daughter. Mediation helped us work out a realistic timetable.
We had to decide on how to split our joint assets.
The mediation process provided a framework to explore all our options.
We initially set the agenda for mediation by talking to both clients individually and together to find out from them what it is that they've come to mediation to sort out. So let's just start by establishing what things are worth. So starting with the house, what do you think what's the value of the house?
Oh, it's clearly at least 650, I would have thought.
Okay, 650.
Actually, I think it's a lot less. I think it's about 520.
520,000.
Yeah, 550.
Okay, so there's quite a big difference between you.
Come on.
Oftentimes somebody will come and say, I just want to talk about the children. Somebody else will come and say, actually, I don't know, I'm going to have a roof over my head next week. We need to sort out the finances first. And so the early stages are very much about getting them to recognise that each person's agenda is important.
Gary, she comes home, she's upset when she gets in.
So how could it be enough? What are you talking about? Obviously it's
she's
not
got
enough
a
for me to see
routine.
my daughter, is it?
Yeah, but she's got her routine. She's she's happy. We do all this stuff, and but she comes home on a Sunday after she's seen you, and she's upset.
So it's working out what are the things that are priorities. Often it's housing, dealing with debt, making arrangements for the children.
She's probably upset because she's missing me, isn't she? She's probably because she's enjoyed our day together.
Well, maybe, but it's just the whole trauma of not being out of routine and everything. I think that she's happy with me. We've got everything set in place. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and she sees you on a Sunday, and the 8 hours she's with you, and she gets upset.
So it's helping parents look at what are the most important issues to them, and sometimes if you deal with some smaller issues first, it helps people then think they can deal with the bigger issues. So it's working things out so that people get a sense of achievement, they're tackling things, they're getting results, and as mediators that's what we do to help them move on.
So let me just clarify, 530-ish up to as much as 650.
I would have thought.
Yeah, and tell me what the mortgage is.
Yes, well it's a 25-year term, we're 5 years in. The original purchase price was 400,000 and we have roughly 350,000 left to pay.
Sure, so 350 mortgage.
Yes.
How do you think we should resolve this question of how much the house is worth? Because that's quite a big difference, isn't it? About 120,000 difference. Have you had any estate agents look at it yourself?
So once the issues are identified, what we do, what I do, is to get clients to think about what it is, big picture, that they want to achieve.
Turning issues into possible options usually involves clients having to do some research. That might be about mortgage options, about suitable housing, about managing debts. And once people have got the information about their particular situation, they can then make decisions that work for them.
And it's going to be quite important to get a somewhat more accurate figure on this, depending on what you decide to do.
Well, I think I can come up with an estimate as well that will show that it is.
He just wants that estimate so he wants to sell it, and I don't want to sell it. This is a property that I spent a long time doing up and working on, and I brought it to the state that it's in.
And I put in the greater part of the initial purchase price, I believe.
We look at what's possible, what's feasible, what's affordable, and then we look at what the preferences are, who would choose what, and there's a negotiation. And generally people can see the point of making some compromises, and the preferences, the preferred options get firmed up and tested.
The upset is, in a sense, saying goodbye to her dad.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so is it possible that a new routine could be created which gives her predictability in her life, gives her the security of knowing what she's doing day by day, but maybe seeing more time with her dad? What do you think about that as a possibility?
I'm not overly happy with it, but obviously it's a possibility. But I just, I'm just want Christine to be happy. That's my main priority, really.
Turning options into decisions often has a big emotional component because they've got a big change to deal with, and often they are perhaps moving somewhere that isn't as nice as where they used to live. They might have to stay with family or friends. So it's helping people look positively at options because they're best for all concerned.
During the course of the mediation, as people discuss and negotiate the possibilities, the mediator will capture along the way any small steps, any small agreements that are made, begin to build a picture so that by the time the mediation concludes, they will have explored all of the possibilities. They'll have looked at what's possible, what's affordable, what's going to work for their children, and will have then had that for them summarised in writing by the mediator, and at the end a concluding summary is written that captures all of their agreed arrangements for the future.
What we're often doing in mediation is breaking things down into bite-sized pieces, into manageable units that people can handle in a way that's not too distressing. Very often when people are separating, it all just seems impossible and doing nothing is the easiest option. But if you break things down into tiny steps and you help people work out what they have to do to move through those tiny steps, then it feels so much more possible. So we're turning something that seems overwhelming into something that seems very possible and manageable, but we're also helping people feel they've got the strength to make those changes because they may be changes they don't want to have to make.